Hello YouTube. This is my VR to J dighsx, I think it is. I can't pronounce his last name. The Secret Santa mastermind behind that all. The one that organized it. You know who he is. This is my first ever VR doing live on YouTube. So let's begin with questions anyway. It's the 10 questions for 2017, and question number one was how much is 4 liters or 4 liters of milk? That's £4. Number two, even though these are all under question number one, by the way, there's about 6 or 7 of them, I think. How much is a gallon of petrol? £4.52. And the third one, but still under the question number one, like the way he's gone around that. 50 gram of tobacco, anywhere from 12.80, 13.50 up to 18 for 50 gram. Depends where you shop, you know. The Davidoffs, they're like 18. Your Sam Gawith McBaron's can be like 12.80, 13.50, 13.40, 13.80, you know, and upwards. One cigar, well, a decent cigar, I'd consider a Romeo Julieta. You're looking at 15 and up, you know, up into 45, 50 pounds. For a decent average stick, you know. And then it was like, how much is a large topping pizza? And that was £8. And obviously they can go up as well, depends where you go. How much are a dozen eggs? £1. Do you believe that now we're on question number two. Do you believe in luck? And I said yes. Question number three. What do you normally eat for lunch? And I answered food. All depends, you know. All depends, you know. I don't have a set thing what I eat all the time. It's all, you know, whatever mood you're in, you know, determines what food you're gonna want to eat. You know, sometimes I'm in the mood for spicy, sometimes not. You know, I go for the more subtle foods and the healthier foods. You know, so but I just say a Breville, which is just like a toasted sandwich with melted cheese inside, bacon, beans or sausage, garlic, bit of Worcester sauce, you know, stuff like that, maybe. That was question number three. Now, so I've written these down here. Question number four. And that was referring to, would you spend 2 weeks in the darkness for money? And I put no. No, but I'm gonna change my mind, because the more I think about these questions, you know, I thought I'm gonna change it, and I'm gonna put depends how much. Because like a lot of people are saying, you know, it can drive you bonkers, it drive you crazy. You lose all sense of time, track of time, and depriving yourself from sleep. You just go a bit loony, don't you? But say 20,000 and up, then yeah, I'd do it. I won't do it for no less than 20 grand. 2 weeks, complete darkness, you know. It's question number five, anyway. If you could become an expert, Jane knows what the things are. I've only written briefly at the end, because as we was as I was writing this down, I had to ask somebody else a couple of the other questions, because one for the eggs, because I don't shop for eggs and that, you know, and then how much is the petrol, because I don't personally drive myself. So number 5 anyway was I put a rocket scientist, and I have reasons for that, and you know, I'm not going to get into it, but I have my reasons for saying rocket scientist. Question number 6. Do you believe in reincarnation? And I put no. Question number 7. Would you rather row across the ocean or walk across the desert? And I put walk across the desert. And this is a longish one, because when you look at each one of them things, there's a lot of variables. You know, you're in the boat. If you choose the boat, you know, you could be fighting wind, you could be fighting the ocean itself, the currents, the waves. You could capsize, you know, you could lose a paddle, you know, you'd be disorientated. You could come across storms, you know, some of the worst storms happen at sea. You could be eaten by a tiger shark if you was to capsize, you know, and just totally lose track of your direction and where you're going. And so I thought walk across the desert. And even though with that, if it's a hot desert, you know, you could dehydrate. You're gonna use a lot more calories in the walking. Like I say, dehydrate. You could come across rattlesnakes that you'd have to fight off. You could get sunstroke, you know. You could be fighting against sandstorms and stuff like that, but still I chose to be on ground, on land, and to walk across the desert. So I looked into that one quite a bit more. Question 8. Will I remember 5 years ago from now what I did yesterday? And I put no, but I'm going to change it. And because I'm doing this video, this VR, I'm going to put yes, because this is kind of like giving me something to jog my memory back to that I specifically done. And then I remember partly what I did yesterday now. But if I'd never done the video, then you asked me 5 years down the road, what did you do on blah 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 date, you know, I wouldn't be able to tell you, no. To be honest, I can't remember what I had for dinner day before yesterday, you know. I just can't, I don't remember them things, unless it was like a birthday or something, you know. I always remember stuff like that, but not just normal days in general, you know. If I had the opportunity, would I go to the moon? I thought yes. Question 10. Has my greatest fears ever come true? And I put many times, because some of my greatest fears have been losing relatives, and as we all know, and it's I wish it wasn't, but it is a part of life. Death is a part of life, and you know, some of my best friends, growing up as a young boy, you know, my granddad was one of them. He was like I classed him as a best friend, you know, my mother's father, and he passed away. He don't want to get into too much detail, but you know, he passed away. And my grandma, we call her Nana, she passed, and they was great fears of mine, and you know, they happened. And also other things, you know, that greatest fear to me did happen, and other things as well. So I'd say, yeah, many times my greatest fears have come true. And the bonus question was, what state do you live in? And I put, I live in a city, because I don't live in the States. In America, I live in England, so I put, I live in a city. I don't live in a state. They're not classed as states, classed as towns, cities. So yeah, that's all my questions answered. So I hope you enjoyed that, Jay, and hope that was the word you guys use in the States. Hope that suffices. We don't particularly use that word much over here, I don't think. But yeah, that's them done. And now I'm going to show you what the mailman's just brought around. And if you want to continue, Jay, feel free. You know, also subscribe if you haven't already, brother. And be good to have you on board. You know, I always watch your stuff. Even it's some things I never dream of doing myself, like the extension you done on the front of your house. I watched all that series, you know, because I like watching you, and you're just so comical, and the way you carry yourself on your videos is just so cool, you know, and I enjoy your videos, yeah. So, you know, I hope you'll maybe, you know, continue to watch mine, and so yeah. But anyway, yeah, we're going to show you my monthly tobacco order from my local local, and I bought 5 tins this month. Normally I buy 4 because it's so expensive, you know. This was like £69 for all this with the shipping. Normally I don't spend that much. I spend like 64, only buy 4 tins and maybe 25 gram of like Jermaine's blending tobacco I bought last month, the Latakia, to add to some, you know, like Northwoods, because it's a bit too mild in Latakia for me, that is, and the countryside. And it's going well when I add that. But this time I bought 5 because I didn't have to buy any e-juice this month. I still have e-juice to last me till April and maybe further. But yeah, I bought 5 tins this time, and we're going to show you now. I've had this many times before. That, the Samuel Guy Full Virginia Flake, good stuff right here. And this is one everyone's been talking about. Well, not everyone, but you know, from the video I've seen, it's had good praise. So I thought, you know, get it. And it's Samuel Gowith's Balkan Flake, and I want to open this because in a bit of a dilemma, you know. I've heard good things, but I want to see for myself. But I have like 20 jars of, you know, little bit of tobacco here, half a ounce there, 4 ounces in there, 2 ounce, 3 ounce in jars, all, you know, bits and bobs mixed. I don't really want to open any more. Well, and you know, until I at least get through two jars, so I can wash out, relabel, and then, you know, add a new blend like that to try it. And if it is good, I can stock up on it until it's so it's not too late, you know. But I mean, that leads me on to mention, I've typed in on Google latest legislation for pipe tobacco in the UK, and it doesn't say anywhere that I've found, unless I'm doing something wrong, I'm not getting the right information, but nothing's disappearing. It's all I can see. What they're saying is the new laws are going to enforce, and the new legislation are going to enforce a 65% more coverage over the tin of warning signs, you know, like that bullshit at the bottom, you know. And fucking look at that, a syringe with a cigarette inside it. There's the tip, there's the paper, you know, like you're gonna inject. What's the thought behind it? This is not processed in the same way as cigarettes. It's just not. And we don't inhale into the lungs. Yeah, you may get a little bit of the odd, you know, tiny bit of smoke travel at the back end, but the best part of it, you know, we put it in the mouth and we blow out to taste the tobacco that way, not inhale into the lungs whatsoever. So it's stupid them putting that on there. The ones that kill, the ones that are killing, are cigarettes. Because the best part about it is it's not tobacco that they use, you know. More times than none, it's a reconstituted sheet leaf that's mechanically formed from stems. Dust goes all through their big machines and the plants, you know, that they've got sophisticated machine technology to make all that into like a sheet. They roll it out and chop it into like a what looks like a leaf, and then added all the chemicals into that, you know. That's what kills. But they're not touching them. They're not saying anything about them, you know. They're still available across the road in the shop. It's crazy, you know, putting everything down to how bad cigarettes are for you. Pipe tobacco is a lot more purer than that. It's not fucking got all that bullshit, you know. Anyway, I'm ranting. What deserves a rant? 3 of them. It's the first time ever that I bought 3 tins of the same. Latakia Flake. 3 of them bad boys, that's it. 5 tins. This is getting a bit too long anyway, guys. I'm gonna go, and thank you for watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers as well that have just joined me. I'm going to bring you another video next week because I've got another box coming from GQ Tobaccos, because they, if you don't know already, they got 30% off. Sad closing down sale, but take advantage of that. Give Glenn some support, show him some support, spend a few quid, get a fistful of corn cobs. That's what I bought, and I bought a basket part, another t-shirt, pipe cleaners and all that. Cheap, very cheap. That's why I bought it. Took advantage of that, you know. I won't be buying no more corn cobs for a long time now. So yeah, anyway guys, thanks for watching. Light them pipes and tamp them light. Peace.